Good morning, everybody. My name is Matt Gallagher. I'm the president of the Goldsecker Foundation here in Baltimore. It is also my distinct honor and privilege to serve as the board chair of Baltimore Corps. I would like to welcome you to Touchpoint, or maybe in some cases welcome you back to Touchpoint. It's absolutely fantastic to be here with you in person today. And I can think of really no better day than Martin Luther King Jr. Day to celebrate and talk about Baltimore Corps, its past and its future. Baltimore Corps is not a place, it's a movement. And Fagan reminded me a few minutes ago that this past weekend marked 10 years since a convening of a number of people from Baltimore at a house in North Baltimore where we talked about the potential and opportunity associated with this idea and vision that was Baltimore Corps. And 10 years ago, the co-founders, Fagan Harris and this guy named Wes Moore, convened this group of people, and we fast forward 10 years later now, and we all have seen what the potential and the possibilities are. It's absolutely incredible what a committed person or a group of committed people can do and achieve when they work together. And that's really what brings us together here today. So just a few quick remarks, because nobody is here to hear from me. Okay, we have much more important people to hear from and talk to. I want to thank my colleagues on the board. I'm joined today by Charlene Hayes and Tracy Barber-Gillette. We are a small board with no committees. So if anybody's interested in some board service opportunity, please talk to me offline. But we're going to talk about some very important transitions that are going to happen here at Baltimore Corps in the next few days and going forward. And when you think about what has happened over these last 10 years, the impact that Baltimore Corps has had, not just in Baltimore, but really beyond the limits of the city, it's really quite impressive and amazing. We are a very strong organization. We are a growing organization. We have a balance sheet that is the envy of many nonprofits around town and around the country. But more importantly, we have an impact that really, punches well above our weight, and we're only going to continue to get bigger and more impactful. And if you really take 1 second and you think about, these two people who came together to help form Baltimore Corps, one of them is about to break about a half a dozen barriers on Wednesday when he's sworn in as the next governor of the state of Maryland. And then our founder and our leader and our longtime president and CEO is going to really have an opportunity to expand his impact in ways that are really unimaginable. Literally leading an organization with tens of thousands of employees with a $60 billion budget, which is literally responsible for everything that happens in the state of Maryland. So just take a second, internalize that, and just think about the opportunities and the possibilities. There are so many great things that are going to happen because of this leadership team that's going in place at the state. It's going to produce just absolutely remarkable benefits for all of us and the citizens of Maryland, and I couldn't be more excited. Never would I ever say that I would want to lose Fagan Harris as a president and CEO of an organization, but beyond the limits of Baltimore, beyond the limits of Baltimore Corps, the state of Maryland is about to, benefit and be the beneficiary of just like this unleashed leadership and this change that's going to happen here. So I'm very, very excited for that. So with all of that said, I want to introduce my friend Fagan Harris, invite him up here so that he can talk and address you. So thank you.
Matt, thank you so much. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh man, what a beautiful day. What a beautiful day. I'm so honored and touched to see all of you here. This is incredibly special. Matt Gallagher, thank you for being my friend, my partner, my mentor for all of these years, and for being in our corner. To the board of directors, Charlene, Tracy, Jan Rivets, Alicia Wilson, just thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here and all that you've done. Sandy Grace at BG&E. This is a big deal, y'all. This is a really big deal. So we're here to talk about leadership. We're here to talk about our succession plan. I would say about 2 years ago, the board and I began a conversation on succession planning at Baltimore Corps. I knew in like my heart of hearts, even then about 2 years ago, 8 years into the job, I was starting to feel that it was time. When I was a younger man, I used to tell our team, I said, if you ever have an ED or a CEO that's not giving it 110% every day, run for the hill, because the job requires 110% every day. It's the best job in the world. You get to meet everyone in our incredible, beautiful city. Our mission calls out the best in people. It is by definition about unlocking the genius that is in our community, the genius that's in every single one of you, and helping connect that genius to the opportunities that make the biggest difference for us. I really can't think of a better calling to have in one's life, and it has been my enormous privilege to have that job and to have that opportunity. And what's really great about that is you all have given me that opportunity. You have authorized me and given me the permission to be a cheerleader for all of you, and I couldn't have done that if it weren't for the buy-in and participation and the partnership and the energy and the commitment and the dedication of every single person in this room and so many people outside of this room. And so when I started thinking about, okay, who's next? Who's up next? Who can I pass the torch to? Who's going to carry the mantle? A few things became clear. First and foremost, the new leaders of Baltimore Corps are going to have other leaders of Baltimore Corps that they're working with, and that we had already built an extraordinary executive team. If you'll permit me, I'd love to just embarrass Adisha Brandy, our incredible CFO. Adisha. Adisha's incredible, and that balance sheet that Matt referenced is in large part because of her leadership and her careful stewardship of our financial resources. She gets up every day and sweats the small stuff so that people like me can think big and do big things, and you need both. Along those lines, where's Andy Parker? Mr. Andy Parker. Andy was our wartime CFO. He helped us transition to a standalone 501c3. He's also our general counsel. I can't say enough good things about Andy Parker. So I'll say one thing about Andy Parker. We would not be here today if it weren't for Andy Parker. I would not be here today if it weren't for Andy Parker. My longtime partner in the work, our chief operating officer, the builder of our culture, the carrier of our change, Karen McFarland. Who has helped lead and guide our day-to-day for so many years and has truly been my partner in the work, and I am forever grateful. And I'm glad to see you back, my friend. Welcome back. And of course, our development director, senior development director, Danny Faulkner, who has helped really build our development operation that Jay Nuwachu started years ago, and Danny took it to the next level. She can't be here today because she's got those two beautiful boys and a full-time job. She's juggling on top of everything else, but I'm thinking of her. And so the two leaders that we're announcing today are stepping into a leadership structure. That is the point. When you're in this job, it's a blessing to work with great people like Adisha, like Andy, like Karen, like Danny. They help us do this work. And so with that, I'm now going to announce our executive director, our incoming executive director, my friend Tamara Arnold. Tamara, man, I'm gonna get emotional when I talk about Tamara. She has just been with us since 2017. She started as a program manager. She's an AmeriCorps alum. She was a school teacher. She has walked that journey of service. She has lived it her entire life. She has got a servant's heart. She is one of the most fiercely intelligent, incisive thinkers I've ever met. And what's crazy about Tamara is that is true. She's also got the most gentle, wonderful, tranquil spirit. It is an uncommon combination. She makes you feel safe. She makes you feel brave. She makes you feel supported, which are all the qualities and hallmarks of a leader. And I know that she has the buy-in and support of our team and our staff and our community because she has done the work, and there's no substitute for doing the work. And it is my great privilege to welcome her up to say a few words as our incoming executive director.
One day I will get as great in my speech making as Matt and Fagan. Thank you so much. But today I'm going to use a paper and I'm going to just talk to you. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here. I am truly overwhelmed with gratitude. It feels like a dream to be in this room with all of you. It's certain faces I'm not going to look at so I don't cry. But just know that this truly is a dream to be in this room with all of you today on Martin Luther King Day and to embark on the next level of this journey with all of you. That was my best freestyle. I'm going to go to my paper now. I'm honored to be here and to embark on being the founding executive director at Baltimore Corps. Over the years, I have had the generous opportunity to meet most of you and work alongside you. There is a common thread that holds our hearts together. We love people. Every person in this room, whether introverted or extroverted, has a genuine and innate heart towards humanity, towards humility, towards growth, and people. We believe that our greatest asset exists both in ourselves and in the collective. So with that, we come together on an early Monday morning, most people's days off. We work together, we mobilize, and we chart a path forward to break down barriers to opportunity. We forge inroads to life-changing relationships, and we commit ourselves to learning, to growing, and bringing others along so that as a collective, we can advance a more beautiful part of life in our part of the world, Baltimore City. And with that mighty and monumental effort, we shine an even brighter light for Maryland, dare I say the East Coast, and the country. Our light forges with those who are like-minded and spiritually bonded to the belief that our existence is completely connected to each other. I am excited to usher Baltimore Corps into her next 10 years. I make the commitment to take responsibility for our work, our mission, our values, and our practices as we advance equity in Baltimore City. The Baltimore Corps team, can just the Baltimore Corps team wave your hands? Let everyone in the room see you. The Baltimore Corps team is one of the best teams I have ever had the privilege to work alongside. We collaborate, we squabble, we build up each other's ideas, and we rein each other in when sometimes the dream is much bigger than the budget. We are innovative, thoughtful, and intentional. And it is more than an honor to serve this current team and its future members. I am thankful for your support, and I trust that you know that you have mine. As a former teacher and forever student, I believe in the cultivation of one's gifts. We must stir up the gift that exists within ourselves and nurture it so that it forever matures. By stirring our collective gifts, we will continue to be successful in serving an ever more thriving Baltimore City. I do have some special thank yous. Thank you, Karen McFarland, for seeing my gifts. For stirring them up 5 years ago and for nurturing them. Thank you, Fagan Harris, the man himself. For trusting in my vision, even as a program manager, from our very first conversation, and for giving me the resources to lead from wherever I am. Thank you, Sarah Fleming. Right there, yes, you're right beside me. For being a dynamic thought partner, and we can do it and we will get it done grit really gets me going, and I so appreciate you. Special appreciation to my family, my parents, y'all. Wave your hands. You guys have always encouraged me to go for it all, and I appreciate that. And thank you to my partner, Tiara Harris, Baltimore's beautiful daughter. You have welcomed me into your home, and you have really shown me the beauty of Baltimore City, and I know you will keep me honest in serving your city. So thank you. Woo. I made it, y'all, without a tear. So with that, I'm happy to introduce a dear colleague and comrade in this work, Antoine Curls, the founding director of Helping Oppressed People Excel, the fervent champion in hope and people and transforming systems and advancing equity for those who are most affected and connected to the realities of living in Baltimore City. Antoine.
How everybody doing this morning? It's a very emotional moment for me. 1 year ago, we was on Zoom, and on Martin Luther King's birthday, and here it is 1 year later, after the fellowship agenda, helping over hundreds, giving back to communities, helping JRA individuals coming out. In Birmingham with Yami, the whole Baltimore Corps team. Kate, thank you. Fagan, thank you, because I love Baltimore, but I love Baltimore Corps and give my life to it. My story started off at, I grew up like 10 minutes up the street. Ran back and forth in my dom. Used to steal out of there as a kid, ride bikes, but then destroyed a lot of communities, bought a lot of clothes, sold a lot of drugs, and went all over the city, and then got sentenced. And in 2014, got released, and for the first time, something was given to me that I could really trust in. Then as we was hired and doing this work, 2015, it was ended. But lo and behold, did I know with Kate and Fagan would transfer me to something else that I could believe in and that could show every 40,000 ex-offender formerly impacted person in this city, whatever you choose to be, you can be. If you want to be a CEO, a janitor, a manager, a director, an advocate, policy change, whatever it is you choose to be, there's a community that will help you here at Touchpoint called Baltimore Corps. There are miracle makers in this room today, and for myself, I didn't know what the vision was going to be. All I knew is that I had to hold on to something. And Fagan used to push me like, man, just give it to your all. And I says, Fagan, I can give something, but I don't want to give that. And Kate used to always say, if you can turn around the energy that you put into the streets, lo and behold, what Baltimore gonna see. My ace, where's she at? Miss Clark, where you at? Jennifer. Jennifer Clark was my project manager. So in the beginning when I first came up here, I didn't think I was gonna have a chance of winning. I really didn't. You know, but 5 years later, policies has been changed. DPSCS is working with us. We formalizing and looking at red lines, the zip code, VOPs, and what resources exist there and why high-risk areas are called this and now called criminalized community to coastal citizenship. And we trying to redefine to take it back to citizens and communities being released. So I hope you can help us with that, bro. You can help us with that, bro. Because I'm telling you, and I don't want us to get on the bad side. You know, Zeke, thanks for all the work you do, man. Before I close out, for everybody in here, thanks for all the work that y'all do, and we're going to continue doing and raise others and bring others and continue Baltimore Corps to continue going. In Birmingham, Tamara sat with me because I didn't know whether I was supposed to be there or how did I fit in. And she said, if you was in Baltimore, what would you do? So I went and sat at the table. In Oakland, Sarah was like, Twan, can you help out with vaccination tests and things of this nature? And then I was like, Sarah, I just don't want to be here. She was like, well, it's great opportunities, there's discussions going on, and talk. And out of that conversation was a development. Fagan came in. And I was like, well, how about if fellows could come from different cities and talk about the red lines that's going on in all high-risk cities and the things that we're doing here to change lives? How can it be a hope that can be there that can change lives? And since then, we've been correlating and talking. So, bro, I'm telling you, email good. I'm working it. I'm learning it. I'm working it. I want to bring Fagan back up. Just remember, where injustice exists, oppression happens. Where hope exists and power is changed.
Okay. So Antoine talked a little bit about our work in Birmingham. And we are joined by our Birmingham Executive Director, Yamini Bhatt. Yamini. And when we started this morning, we went back 10 years to my friend, now Governor, Wes Moore's home. And we talked about how Baltimore could be the best place in the world to change the world, and that we could do the change here, but it didn't need to end here. There's communities all across this country with similar assets, similar challenges, similar needs, similar opportunities. And that is really what we have built here in Baltimore, is a lighthouse for the rest of the country. And so I think for the last 5 years, the phone's been ringing. Cities all around the country said, hey, we love what y'all are doing up in Baltimore. How do we bring it to Birmingham? How do we bring it to San Antonio? How do we bring it to Oakland? How do we bring it to Detroit? Our people are here too. And so Baltimore Corps over the last year and a half has really moved to go deep locally, and that's the work that our local team here is going to continue to drive, but also to expand nationally and to continue to be that model. I have the privilege of serving on the board of AmeriCorps, and I'm really proud that the AmeriCorps, the federal agency for service in this country, has adopted a lot of the core racial equity principles that we have baked into our work here in Baltimore as the nation's leader in it. I'm proud that we're raising the living stipend to a living wage, which is huge. something that's going to impact 250,000 people a year. And that is directly connected to the work that Baltimore Corps has done. Taking the work we've done here and spreading it nationally is going to require a very special leader. It's going to require someone who can build a business model out of nowhere. It's going to require someone who can build the partnerships, someone who can activate the community, someone who can hold us together, keep us doing it. And we've got just the person. Sarah Fleming is the longest tenured employee here at Baltimore Corps. I met her years ago at the Carey School of Business when I gave a talk. And she came up to me and said, "Hey, I want to get involved in what you're doing." And I said, "All right, I think we're good, but I'll let you know." And she was like, "I'm serious. I want to get involved in what you're doing." And Sarah Fleming, ever since she joined that team, has rolled up her sleeves and has done so much in every iteration of this organization. When we were building the fellowship and trying to figure out how does it work, how's it financed, how do we place, how are they supported, Sarah was there. When we were launching new initiatives like Elevation Awards, Sarah was there. When COVID happened and all hell was breaking loose, by the way, this is all just an excuse to get the Baltimore Corps team back in the office. Just joking, I'm not leaving. Surprise! Lock the doors. When COVID happened and all hell broke loose, they laughed, but they're like, "Is he serious?" And we did the Baltimore Health Corps. Sarah was the architect of that. And that was so hard. That required so much next level leadership, let alone around the clock hours. Sarah's always done the hardest work at Baltimore Corps. Period, full stop. She has always done the hardest work at Baltimore Corps. She has always taken on the assignments that have been most challenged, and she's done it with grace and humility and fierce intelligence and a stone cold level of commitment that blows me away. If anyone else had been through what Sarah Fleming has been through here, they would have been gone a long time ago. And she persists. She is an endurance leader. She is the real deal. She is someone who I have complete confidence and faith in. She's one of the best people I've ever met. She also has a rock star son named Ollie. What up, Ollie? Ollie's our chief marketing officer, and her husband, Ryan. I want to recognize them because they too give up a lot so that we can do this work. I think all of us know that it's a family affair here at Baltimore Corps. Tiara, you know, it's the trade-offs we all make. So with that, I'm going to welcome Sarah Fleming to the stage. Please give her a rousing welcome. She will be stepping into our interim CEO function. She will be acting to lead this movement nationally and guiding this work locally. So with that, Sarah, welcome.
Wow, it's such an honor to be with all of you, and the energy and enthusiasm in this room is just contagious, so it's so wonderful to be with everyone today. Thanks, Fagan, Tamara, Antoine, and Matt. A huge thank you to all of you to celebrate and support this moment. I'm honored for this opportunity to continue our work together. So for those of you that don't know, I began my education and career as a geologist. When I decided I wanted to pivot and find a more purposeful and people-centered role, I kept striking out. It's because of two amazing leaders here today, Fagan Harris and Rodney Foxworth, that I was able to try a different path. They took a chance on me, and as a result, the trajectory of my life and my work went in a new, much more fulfilling and people-centered direction with incredible opportunities. Being that catalyst for others, helping people see the best in themselves, is really what Baltimore Corps and City Corps is all about. I feel so lucky to be able to wake up each day and help create a similar spark for thousands of people in Baltimore, Birmingham, and now other communities across the country. Here in Baltimore, I've had the honor to work alongside leaders like Antoine. I continue to be inspired by his and others' work as we bring together the best of local place-based work and share these strategies nationally. As we continue to expand this work nationally, Antoine and other community leaders in Baltimore will remain at the forefront. We have a unique opportunity to elevate and showcase Baltimore and Maryland as leaders in service and talent development. Through City Corps, Baltimore Corps will share tools, strategies, and resources to support other communities. allowing them to elevate underestimated people and places to build talent hubs, as we have done so effectively here in Baltimore. As you know, we launched our first sister site last June in Birmingham. We're grateful to be joined by Yamini Bhatt today, our Birmingham Corps' founding executive director. And as our national expansion work grows, we'll form a network of City Corps sites across the country, all building social impact leaders with equity and racial justice at the forefront. Over the past 10 years, we've worked closely with our partners to bring about meaningful solutions for residents and communities throughout our city. Along the way, we've learned a lot of valuable lessons. Expanding our City Corps network is already allowing us to share some of these solutions and lessons learned and build connections between cities. With Baltimore as our flagship, that's what our work is all about, cities helping other cities. Going forward, Tamara and I will be joined at the hip as we lead our organization's local and national work. If you've ever spent time with Tamara, you know that means I'm very lucky. She's thoughtful, strategic, driven, and puts Baltimore's communities and people first. She's also been a driving force for where our organization is today. The Baltimore Corps and City Corps team, as you've heard many people say, are the most incredible people that I know, and I can't wait to continue working with all of you. I'm grateful to our board members, partners, and supporters that I've gotten to know over the years, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work with all of you in this new role. Before I close, I have to give another shout out to my husband, Ryan, and my son, Oliver, for their love and support too. Our work at Baltimore Corps and City Corps is important to create a better future for young people like Oliver, and that drives me in this work. And now I couldn't be happier to introduce Councilman Zeke Cohen. We've had the privilege of working closely together with Councilman Cohen for many years now, and he's been an incredible champion and partner.
All right. So before I start, I would just say, take a look around you, and in this room, you will see just about every civic leader in our city. And that is because Baltimore uniquely is able to bring people together, and it's a beautiful thing to see. It is truly an honor to be here celebrating Baltimore Corps on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. But there is another important, famous person whose birthday is today, and that is my wife. And if she does not get some birthday brunch soon, I will be in big trouble. So we're going to keep it brief. In all seriousness, it means a lot to be with you here today on the born day of Dr. King. He died not only fighting for racial justice, but economic justice as well. And I believe that Baltimore Corps, with its commitment to equity through economic uplift, is a testament to his legacy. For years, I've been proud to partner with Baltimore Corps. Every fellow that we've brought on has been hard-charging, hungry for change, and deeply committed to justice. Right now, we're proud to work with Richard Ortega Ramirez, a young man who grew up in Southeast Baltimore, my district, who struggled financially, but was the first in his family to attend and graduate from college. Today, Richard is living out his dream, supporting our immigrant community, building a pipeline from Patterson High School into the Carpenters Union, and organizing a listening tour for older adults. I've learned more about what it means to persevere in the face of adversity from Richard than he could ever learn from me. And that's because of the love and support and capacity that Baltimore Corps has poured into him. During the pandemic, you all helped to save lives by partnering with the Baltimore City Health Department to employ a cohort of contact tracers. And now I am so incredibly excited to see Baltimore Corps expand nationally and continue to make meaningful change right here in our city. That doesn't happen without incredibly talented staff. So let me first say a few words about my friend, Fagan Harris. Not a lot of people know this, but not too long ago, Fagan had an incredible opportunity. He could have left Baltimore Corps and come to work for a true trailblazer in the 1st District of the Baltimore City Council. That would be me. But instead, he apparently chose to go be chief of staff to some guy named Wes Moore, who happens to be the first black governor in the history of Maryland. And who may or may not be our president 8 years from now. I know I'm not supposed to say that, but I'm just saying. Fagan, you do an incredible job helping other people make good career choices, but this one, I don't know. But in all seriousness, I could not imagine someone with more smarts, chutzpah, and fundamental decency than Fagan Harris. Along with Wes and Aruna, he is the change maker that Maryland needs. And his leadership bodes well for Baltimore. After Fagan's mom passed away, I watched him struggle and then double down on his commitment to justice. That is the mark of a true leader. When you get knocked down, you get back up. We are so incredibly proud of you, my friend. Let me take a moment to acknowledge the talented Tamara Arnold. Tam and I are both TFA alums. She worked to improve the lives of kids as a teacher in our city and at Playworks. And then she came here and fundamentally shifted and helped to mold the culture and the focus of the organization, grounding it deeply in the historic and present-day injustices of our city. She pushed Baltimore Corps to be an organization that truly lives up to Dr. King's vision, and I could think of no better leader for Baltimore. Thrilled to get to work with you. And last but certainly not least, I'm so proud of my friend Sarah Fleming. Sarah's grace, brilliance, and kindness make her truly a unique leader. Whenever something really good happens, or whenever there's a problem, Sarah is the first person I turn to. That's because people feel comfortable confiding in Sarah. She is self-aware and humble, but behind that humility is a brilliant mind. She sees opportunities to make our city better before they even exist, and she draws out the best in people. I feel like Fagan and I said exactly the same thing, but I swear we didn't plan it. I can't wait to see you solving problems at the national level. Give it up for Sarah. Let me close out by announcing our next partnership with Baltimore Corps. We are proud to be the first city in America to have legislated trauma-informed care. And we are proud to have won a $1 million AmeriCorps grant in partnership with Baltimore Corps to build the Healing City Recovery Corps. These folks will work in sacred spaces like churches, mosques, synagogues, and barbershops to be a bridge to mental health care. They will help our most traumatized communities get the support they need through partnerships with local hospitals and healthcare institutions. This partnership is a tribute to the innovative, creative, funky ways that we do business in Baltimore. But it wouldn't be possible without Baltimore Corps. And so to all of you today, thank you for believing in a better Baltimore and a better world.
It is Dr. King's birthday. Dr. King always lived by the tenet that everyone can be great because everyone can serve. And this is a great city because we're a city that serves. And what we've seen over the last 10 years is thousands and thousands and thousands of people raise their hand to answer the call for service. to make sure that our people and our kids and our future are as good and as bright and as optimistic as they deserve. And you all have been the vanguard of that. Thank you for the opportunity, for the chance to lead and to be a part of it. Deeply, deeply grateful. And I know that you all will continue to answer the call and that you'll do so in partnership with our two extraordinary leaders, Sarah and Tamara. I believe in you so much. I've got your back. And I'm also not going very far, and I'm excited to keep working with y'all. Before I close, I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge my wife, Miriam Bawajami, who has given up so much so that I could do this. And I don't have the words, but I want to thank you. I love you. I appreciate you. The long nights, the early mornings, the missed occasions, the sacrifice. You have given it your all right alongside me, and I'm so grateful. All right, y'all. Thank you. God bless y'all. I appreciate it. Let's get to work.
And there's food in the back.